Sorry, I had to start this over because I didn't manage to change my mic. This is how my day is going today. It's stupid and I'm mad about it. I just resent it to everybody. If you want a link, let me know. Email's in the description. No, I'm mad at myself. I'm having a pajama day because I'm mad at myself. I screwed up. I screwed up and I have no consequences because all the consequences are my husband's. Told my husband yesterday that I put that his clothes were in the dryer. They weren't. They were still in the wash. I'm so mad. So mad at myself. Because he needed something he was going to wear. I thought he packed everything and everything was shipshape. Apparently not. I would have, honestly, I would have gotten the stuff out of the dryer yesterday if I needed it today. But that didn't happen. Oh, I'm so mad. Oh, why did I do that? I gotta remember that he's not good at, he is not good at follow through. I guess I don't know, and I've got to remember it because it's all on me. I do all the laundry. Darn it! Should have not done. I shouldn't just not done it. I should have just not done it yesterday. Not even tried because I knew I'd screw it up somehow. So I'm having a semi pajama day. I do got to go to the store later. I don't have anything for just like me to eat. Um, yeah, I got like meals for us, and then he springs on me that we're not. Oh, I'm not gonna be home. Thanks, thanks for that. Appreciate it. Oh, and then I forget to change the mic, so no sound. So I got rid of that other one. I hate it when I do that. I also like slept like he was out of the shower before I woke up, which is not normal. I'm a pretty light sleeper, and I usually hear him as soon as he opens the door because he is not quiet about that. Oh, so anyway, I'll probably get in a car accident today too. That's what happened the last time I felt like this. I showed you that. It's in here somewhere. It's in one of these streams somewhere. Oh, what else is going on? That's it. I'm just mm. I need some proper barrettes for my hair though. I'll try not, but you know about the Burger King incident. I know there's just no car accidents, please. They're not gonna be. It's not gonna be a major one. It's just gonna be me being stupid and hit something like a giant propane truck. Oh, yeah. So that stinks. Stay alert. I thought I was. I wasn't well. I knew I wasn't because that day I missed the turn for Burger King 3 times or 2 times before I finally got there. I had sometimes not in my in the right space where it should be. Should have just went turned around and went home then. But I should learn better. But I do have to go to the store whether I want to or not. All right. So anyway, anything exciting going on for anyone? I hope not. I hope your life is boring. Boring is so much better. Boring is so much better. Anyway, playing with my little toys, like my Burger King or my McDonald's toy. Oh, I think it's the weather. I didn't like feel all that great yesterday, and neither did my husband. So we're blaming it on the weather. It can't be that we're getting sick again because we just got over stuff. I'm not even fully over stuff. I forgot my drink. I forgot to get my drink. Ugh. See how my day is? My day stinks. So I'm gonna have to go get that because I ain't gonna last long. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab my drink. All right, I'm back. You like my pajamas? Oh, lint, lint everywhere. I don't know why. Lint or my hair from falling out last year. It's still finding hair everywhere. My cousin's clothes are dry now. Mine are in the wash. And I don't feel like putting them in the dryer. Oh, oh well, he'll have a couple days to recover from his anger. Hopefully, he won't. Hopefully, he'll recover before he gets back. I hope so. He gets mad and then he has to sulk for a while, and then he's fine. All right. So continuing with our bad reviews. Um, this is still from Arcadia. Acadia, I'm sorry. Acadia, not Arcadia. Um, this is from Teach Out, and it says campgrounds closed without warning. This is from 2023. I know it's late in the season, but temps are in the 50s and leaf turning is at its optimum. Lots of guests are in the area. Despite this, campgrounds were closed today for the season. Yeah, says recreation.gov gives no warning or explanation. Well, maybe that's not where you're supposed to look for that. But yeah, campgrounds closed for the season when it's cold. You live in Seattle. He's from Seattle. You live in Seattle. It's a little different thing. Um, Called the campground phone number and told Matt that the website says nothing about season's closure, and he says you're the second one that told me that. Duh, thanks, NPS. Like, yeah, it's probably a date that's like every year. Probably on the 15th October. This was done on October 16th. I'm betting you that camp closes every year on October 15th because that's a very common October 1st or October 15th are very common times for campgrounds to close for a season. So that's probably why it wasn't listed on there because everybody around there knows. All right, next we have traumatize them back, and it's a repost. It says, um, it's entitled "I leaned a little too hard into the middle school witch accusations to annoy a middle school bully." Oh, that's cool. I posted this on AITA a while back, and it was removed because it didn't fit the theme. But someone suggested I post it here. Please enjoy my silly revenge story. So this should be good. Hopefully that will last me the several hours we'll be here. Back in middle school, seventh grade teacher, seventh grade girl. Now Mark was super religious and stuck up. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. Was he a preacher's kid? Actually, they're usually just in trouble. I sat down first in my all black alternative outfit and makeup, and the first words to come out of his mouth sounded genuinely scared. Are you a witch? I thought this was a joke, so I responded that I was. He got quiet and fear filled his eyes. I looked at him, confused. You know I'm joking, right? He just laughed, and I thought that was the end of it. Through the next few classes, it was clear this guy thought he was the cool kid. Talked during class, picked fun at classmates, harassed the teacher. He also called himself the king of the table, and the girls in class were his peasant servants. It's typical religious guy. Thinks women are lesser. I didn't include this in the OG post, but it gives a sense of who this kid was. One day I had what at the time I felt like was really funny and petty idea. The next class, right as he started goofing around, I bet my head down at him, Wednesday Addams style, and began whispering gibberish with a deadpan look on my face. Middle school me thought this was hilarious, peak comedy. I'm sorry, but that is funny. That is hilarious. Mark disagreed. Of course, Mark did, because he's a little scaredy cat. He's a little scaredy cat of things that don't exist. It's dumb. Horrified. The next day, he was out sick. He came back to school claiming I cursed him and telling everyone that I cursed him too, I would curse them too if they made me upset. He came to my history class, saw me sitting there, and broke down crying. We were both sent to the counselor, and I sat there while he explained how I was worshiping the devil and performing witchcraft on my fellow students. I felt really bad and was kind of my fault, but like, fortunately, I went to a different high school and haven't seen him since. But at the end of the day, witches are cool. If you're going to call me a witch, I'll go along with it. Since the story originally posted, I have yet another witch accusation. It was obviously more of a joke than with poor Mark, but I might be forever stuck with witch vibes. Duet Masaki is the top rated comment, and they say, you know what? Good for you. Not only you took down a bully, but you showed every one of his victims that it, in that class his biggest weakness, and unwittingly turned him into a whole bitch, your bitch, in front of him. I guarantee your story is legend to some. I bet it is too, because it would be for me. Scarlet Nape said, well, actually, back in high school, probably wouldn't be. I don't know. We weren't as 70s and early 80s as we were in the later 80s after the satanic panic. Just so dumb. Scarlet Nape said, back in the 80s, a goth friend was covering childcare for another friend while the grandmother was recovering from surgery. A friend guilted her into watching her 8-year-old for the afternoon, as well as lying that the mom friend did all the time. Disrespectful little obnoxious brat of a child, full of "I don't have to listen to you" charm. Oh, she was goth. He tried to mock her about being a witch. She was past done with him. He purposely hurt the cat, hit the 4-year-old daughter twice, then tried to mess with the adult, so she messed with him. She sent the little girls to their room to play alone and then went about the house dimming lights, drawing curtains, and lit a candle in the kitchen and started angrily whispering to it. About then, her boyfriend walked in there to give her a ride home. He heard the brat say, BS, you're not a real witch. The boyfriend walked over to her quietly and said, what you doing? She whispered to him a recap of her day, with her eyes still rolled back into her head. Boyfriend walked over to the brat and leaned down and whispered, you know those pictures of kids on the milk carton? What do you think actually happens to them? I would sass grown-ups if I were you. Brat then went quiet and then dissolved into a puddle of snot and tears, so boyfriend took him out on the porch away from the other kids until his mom got back. Brat bolted when he saw his mom's car pulled in, but not before boyfriend had given him a Bill Murray style, no one will ever believe you. Mom later said the neighbor came scurrying over shortly after the dad got home. Boyfriend had filled him in on the second he got out of the car. Skipped the candle milk cartons bit, though. Dad was watching for her and headed her off in the middle of the street. Mom could only hear bits from inside the house, but she clearly heard the wrap up. So when Dad announced to God and the entire neighborhood that if he ever saw her son hit his 4-year-old again, he'd beat his ass himself. I really expected some sort of aftermath after all this was in the satanic panic days. The neighbor avoided the family, and the brat would literally turn around and run whenever the dad or the girls came outside. That's kind of funny. The parents seemed focused on the scamming free childcare and hitting hitting a 4-year-old girl parts. And the goth just laughed if anybody brought it up. You know, those witches don't really exist, right? That's awesome. Next top rated comment is gives the subreddit r slash witches versus patriarchy beckons. uh, Next person's answers, I was expecting r slash subs I fell for moment, but it's real. That's awesome. And then there's just a bunch of memes. Next we have what should I do? And it's entitled, My boyfriend thinks I have so much hair on my arms that he would leave me. And here's the hair. And why does it matter so much how much hair you have on your arms? It's a natural thing. Calm down. I don't want to remove him because it's never been a problem for me, and I never thought about them. Nobody ever told me they were visible or that I should remove them, and I don't know what to do. If I remove them, though, I will be doing something wrong against my own will just to please him. At the same time, I don't know if at this point I'm the one in the wrong. Do you think they are visible, and what should I do? Well, they're visible, but who cares? Humans have hair, like everywhere. Why are we so worried about where it's at and what it's doing? I don't understand it. It's silly. Deleted says he doesn't love you, girl. Panda Pizza Panda says he don't like her. Yeah, this is not a good guy. It's probably a nice guy, you know. Nice guys finish last for a reason because they're not good guys. They're just nice. Nice doesn't equal good. No occasion. Don't get rid of the hair on your arms. Get rid of him. Opalescent Moon says, keep the hair, shave it, choose what you like. Yes, self-determination, people. But dump his ass. Any man who will nitpick your body like that does not love you. Love of control he exerts over here will get worse. Yes. Englewood has a story as an answer to that. One time in seventh grade, I shaved my arm hair, and yeah, not even sure why. It's very sparse and blonde, and it just on random impulse. I remember a boy I had a small crush on touched my arm in class the next day, saying, "Whoa, your arm is so smooth and soft." He took my hand and touched my arm again and was blushing and trying to be flirty and casual about it, like, "Oh, he is it? I didn't even notice it's always like this." Then still holding my hand, he announced, "Do you shave your arm hair off?" And like three other classmates turned and looked at my directly hairless arm. As a seventh grader, it was embarrassing for someone, especially a boy, to think that I was so hairy that I had to shave my arms off, so I never shaved them again. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you never shaved them again. Hair is natural. Long jumping effect says, get the weighing out now. And the funny, why the funny not says, God damn, I wish I could vote this. I could upvoter this 1,000 more times. Next, we have malicious compliance, and it's entitled, Customer Always Found a Mistake, so we complied. This goes back to around the 1990s. I was an independent designer for a few different printing businesses in the south suburbs of Chicago. Back then, computers were fairly new, and the print shops are still old school. Those inserts you found in newspapers, they were still hand lettered back then. Yikes. I designed brochures and flyers, laser print proof scanned photos. A 150 DPI HP scanner was $1,200. That's like 5,000 K today, and so on. Anyway, one of the print shops had a customer that always found an error, would demand new proof, and not authorize the job until he signed off on a new proof. Every single word is too dark, and so on. So he came up with a solution. I'd do two proofs. One was the original, accurate one. The other had obvious intentional mistake. He'd catch the mistake and ask for a new proof. He'd be told to come back in an hour. It was usually a day or two. He'd come back and be shown the second proof. He'd approve it every time. Demand that there's always a mistake. Here you go. Yeah, my dad had a customer like this. My dad was an auto body repairman. He painted cars. He could match paint like nobody's business. I have inherited the trait. I can tell if a color is off or not. Just by looking at it. I had to prove it to a boss once. Like we have one that's too blue or one that's too purple. Which of these would you prefer? We substitute for the one you gave me." She didn't believe me. I was right. So, anyway, so he had this customer that followed him around because my dad was, by this time, he was a supervisor, manager, and he would get a new job and move to a new shop, and he had numerous customers that would follow him around like that. But this guy would follow him around, never be happy, never be happy. Finally, one day, he had to work on this guy's car and smash a quarter panel or whatever, and they had to basically fix it and repaint it. I don't think they had to replace it. They just had to bump it, bump out, and repaint it. So he takes him out to the car and he shows him the car, and the guy says, "The paint looks a little off to me." And my dad says, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He says, "That's funny because I painted the other side." So yeah, you do get people like this. They're never happy no matter what happens. So that was a good way to fix that. You don't like that one? Here's the real one. It's perfect. Also, what you can do is tell them to come back in an hour, just give them the same one. That would be really funny. High throughput is the top comment, and it's in software terms called a duck, a feature added for no other reason than to draw management's attention and be removed, thus avoiding unnecessary changes to other aspects of the program. Oh. Started as a piece of interplay corporate lore. It was well known that producers, a game industry position roughly equivalent to production managers, had to make a change to everything that was done. The assumption was that subconsciously they felt that if they didn't, they weren't adding value. The artist working on the Queen animations for Battle Chess was aware of this tendency and came up with an innovative solution. He did the animation for the Queen the way he felt it would be best, with one addition. He gave the Queen a pet duck. He animated this duck through all of the Queen's animations, and it had flapping around the corners. He also took great care to make sure it never flapped in the actual animation. Eventually, it was time for the producer to review the animation set for the Queen. The producer sat down and watched all the animations. When they were done, he turned to the artist and said, "That looks great, just one thing, get rid of the duck." That's interesting. Angela says this would be more awesome if the producer loved the duck. Oh, some people are just never happy. It's really annoying. Pumpkin Crouton says, "I used to get calls by a woman on a machine. She complained about the keyboard. We had one spare keyboard. I'd get it out of the cabinet, unbox it, and swap it. She loved the new keyboard and said how nice it was. Later, I put the old keyboard in the same box for the next month. Then her keyboard was screwing up again and needed a replacement. She never figured out that the new keyboard was always much better than the old keyboard. This went on for a long, long time." Electronic Stock says, "I don't understand what kept screwing up in her mind." And the armor smith says, "Problem between keyboard and chair." Third comment, top comment is from illustrious leader. Worked in publishing in the 90s, and we had a magazine editor that would demand the impossible 15 minutes before print. She'd formally complain if you told her it couldn't be done and would be on your file at appraisal time, but she never complained about Joe. So I watched the next time she asked Joe. Joe said, "Sure," waited 10 minutes, then printed out another proof without making a change. Joe not only took the new proof to her desk, she had nothing to compare it to. Got accepted every time. Blue of old. No, it's not. That's practical. That is practical. All right, this is brutalist. That's all it says. I don't know where it is. It's an evil building, of course. It's a face. It's a face with other faces on it and a guy in it. What's the point of this? I don't know. Don't know what the point of it is. Um, it's the Mask of Sorrow, Russia. Um, it's a monument. It's not a building. There's a difference between a monument and a building. This is a much newer picture. It looks much better. That's I don't I deem this not evil. No, there's more pictures. Look at that. The heck is that supposed to be? It's an Orthodox cross. Oh, it's supposed to be Jesus. Jesus. So that's mildly interesting, but it's not evil. Next is AITAH, and it's entitled AITAH for telling a kid at the sleepover to stop acting like a brat. He's probably never been called that, even though he acts like it all the time. My son had a sleepover on Sunday. It was him and three of his friends. My wife is out of town, so breakfast Monday morning was me, the four of them, and my daughter. I did not want to make breakfast for six people, so I ordered a catering box from a breakfast place the night before. It came with 12, 13, came with a baker's dozen of bagels, three types of cream cheese, butter, and sliced onions, cucumbers, and tomatoes. I figured that was plenty of food for six people. Yeah, two. Nobody needs two bagels. Nobody needs two bagels at one time. So yeah, that's plenty of food. Monday morning, I picked up the box. I had selected to get six plain, three onion, and three everything bagels. But you can't pick your extra bagel. They gave us a sesame seed bagel. Sounds delicious. When I got home, I called everybody downstairs, and my daughter got there first. I told her to take a bagel. She took the sesame seed one and started putting butter on it. When the boys came down, one of my son's friends asked why there weren't any more sesame bagels. I said there were only one. He asked why she got it. I said she came downstairs first. He said that wasn't fair. I'm sorry, should have come down sooner, I guess. Actually, should have left it for the guests, but that's neither here nor there. I said there are plenty of bagels, just take one. He asked why I only ordered one sesame seed bagel. I said I didn't, it was an extra. He didn't he asked why I didn't order any. I said I didn't realize they were so popular. Like they're what? Plain onion and everything. Personally, I would order twice as many everythings than plains, but that's just me. This kept going about how he wanted a sesame seed bagel, and it wasn't fair that my daughter got one and he didn't since he is a guest. At this point, my daughter was already eating the bagel, so this is purely theoretical conversation now. I said to the kid, just pick a bagel. He said he didn't want plain onion or everything. Well, then I guess you're going to go hungry, hon, because that's all we got. I said plain bagel is just a sesame seed bagel without the sesame seeds. He said it didn't make any sense. He asked me to go back and get him a sesame bagel. Absolutely not. No, no. You're a guest. You get to eat what's served, sir. I told the kid to stop acting like a brat and eat a bagel or go to school without breakfast. He said I had to feed him and I can't call him a brat. Oh, I can call you anything I want. I said I have fed him. I can't make him eat. He literally put a scoop of cream cheese on his napkin and ate it with a butter knife just to prove a point. What a brat. No, that's a brat. He's a brat. After pickup that day, his mom called to get my side of the story. I told her what happened, and she said she couldn't believe I called her kid a brat and let him go to school hungry. I said she said I should have ordered enough food for everyone. There was twice as much food as anyone needed here. There was plenty of food. There were four bagels left over after breakfast, so there was plenty for everyone. There were cucumbers he could have eaten with his cream cheese. He had options. She said I had no right to call him a brat. I said I only said he was acting like a brat, which he was. She was mad and said she was going to talk to my wife when she gets home. Oh, I'm going to talk to your wife. Okay, go ahead. She's not my mother, and I'm a full grown man. It's a weird threat, but have fun. Am I the a hole, or is this kid a brat? The kid's a brat. The kid's a brat. Dogzilla's mom is the top rated comment, and she says, I didn't get the answer I wanted, so I'm going to tell on your wife. She'll probably ground you. OP says maybe she'll punish me for being a naughty boy. Glittering Wind says, did you laugh when she threatened to tell your wife? I'm a woman. If someone tried to on such a trivial matter, I would be howling with laughter and tell her that her son's behavior was bratty and she failed in teaching him how to be a house guest. Exactly. Donica says now we know where the son learned his bratty behavior. Yep, for sure. It's usually the parents. Usually. Sometimes it's not, but that's rare. Troublesome Fox says he's acting like a brat because his mother clearly lets him act like a brat. If someone was nice enough to order in food for my kid and they kicked up a fuss like that, they'd be getting another earful from me when I heard about it in TA. Exactly. Exactly. Hopeful Wintries answers, I couldn't imagine acting that way to a friend's parents. I'd likely ask which bagel flavor would bother them the least for me to take. Yoink is the third top rated comment. And they say NTA, kid is a brat and that is used to getting whatever he wants. Mom's reaction backs that up. Cammy says I had a kid in my carpool, took her seatbelt off and refused to put it back on. I pulled over and told her to put it back on or we wouldn't be moving. We can sit here as long as she wanted. I knew telling her mom wouldn't make a difference. She was a brat. She finally buckled up and I told her I would call her mom to come get her if we stayed there too long. She had already been kicked out of a carpool along with us because she constantly argued with our kid. I knew her mom would not want to get kicked out of ours because that would mean she had to drive every day. Named after no one says, my mom once stopped the car and made a carpool kid get out and walk back to pick up the trash he'd thrown out the window. She refused to keep going until he did it. The kid was pissed, but luckily the mom was 100% on board when she found out. That's good. Also, Cars answers, I actually had a kid in my car with her mom, and apparently mom didn't make her kid wear a seatbelt because she didn't want to. My kids don't know how to ride in a car without a seatbelt. It's just automatic. I was driving a car full to a birthday party. I told them both that everyone in my car has to wear their seatbelt, so let's buckle up so we can get going to the party. I was happily surprised when she complied, as this little one was known for melting down to get what she wanted. Yeah, the car doesn't move until everybody's buckled in. That's the rule. It's not a hard rule. This from Neighbors from Hell, and it's an update. So we will go read the original. Neighbors from Hell, entitled $100 a month apartment. Yikes. Ow. My girlfriend and I were long distance for 2 years. Last fall, we finally closed the gap, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to afford a luxury apartment in our area. We were both we were the first people to move into this brand new unit, and I couldn't have been more excited. The very first night we moved in, we heard extremely loud noises from our upstairs neighbor. Since we had moved in that morning, I assumed he was doing the same, but the noise over time continued. Extremely loud stomping, what sounded like furniture constantly being moved, jumping, jumping things that were literally made my walls shake. And these often occurred during quiet hours. After our first noise complaint did absolutely nothing, in fact, made it so much worse, I decided to knock on her door and asked him to refrain from making such intense noise. His kids, roughly 10 years old, were literally jumping off the kitchen chairs onto the floor. Yeah, that's 10-year-old behavior. He was extremely defiant, and by the time I got back home, the noise was even worse because he told them to make it worse. I'm fully convinced each time we report the noise, he retaliates by purposely making even louder noises. It really feels like he instructs them to jump and stomp loudly after we report him. He and his kids are now incapable of walking without stomping as loud as it possibly can. They slam doors and sprint around their apartment like a track meet. This has had a significant effect on my relationship and my mental health. I despise actually being in my apartment with the stress of nonstop thunderous stomping has led to more minor arguments with my partner. We have documented the issue endlessly, but each time he retaliates and becomes worse. Property manager said he may allow us to move units. Unfortunately, it would have to be the same floor plan, meaning I would have to continue to pay the same rent. I'm currently on the second to the top floor while moving all the way down to the second floor and swapping a view of our pool for a view of the busy road. That doesn't sound cool. Just overall crappy situation. I've lived in apartments for over a decade and never experienced anything like this. Lesson learned, I will never be renting an apartment again. I can relate. So here's the update. Earlier this month, due to their excessive stomping and banging, uh, Management has basically offered us two paths to fix this issue. Call the police every day or move to a different unit in our building on a lower floor and no longer facing the water while still paying the same rent. See, that's not cool. If anything, I mean, you really charge the same rent for those two apartments because that's not right. I was very close to taking this deal, but Reddit made me realize that this total BS. So we are still in the original unit. Anyway, this weekend my partner and I had our 2-year-old at his grandmother's. We finally had some time to spend with just another, and around 10 p.m. on Friday, our upstairs neighbor got home and began stomping extremely loud. This completely deflated our mood. On Saturday morning, we were woken with the loudest stomping and slamming yet, starting at 8 a.m. Nice. Noise literally went on nonstop until 11 p.m. last night. This isn't just someone walking loudly. You literally have to go out of your way to be this loud, destructive. We can clearly hear the ground cracking and our walls shaking. Today was the same thing with the addition of thunderous sound I can only equate to picking up a fully packed luggage bag and dropping it above your head onto our ceiling. This is what it sounded like every 20 minutes or so. Now my partner did a much better job handling this mess than I did when it began. But we are stressed, sleep deprived, and yesterday her friend came over and was exposed to how bad the noises are. When she was awoken early today by the noises, she was not having it. After a few hours, she snapped. She grabbed the broom and smashed our ceiling back and yelled, "Shut the F up. Shut the wing up with the noise." Somehow this worked. The noise completely stopped. It has been quiet for hours. I'm sure it will return, probably even worse shortly, but good for her. We are all the cops already. Why are you not? Okay. Call the cops. Why are you not calling the cops already? Call the cops. That's what they're there for. Today, she also sent an email to our manager saying we need to be let out of our lease immediately, citing the noise and us having to wear headphones to sleep. She's only 110 pounds, but this issue has her like a rabid dog, and I love it. Hey, don't mess with a little tiny girl. Don't mess with us little tiny girls. We'll eat you up and spit you out. I will update when we hear back from management about breaking our lease. We're like little chihuahuas. We're mean. We're mean because we have to be, because that's a survival instinct. Obligation no says every time you have said something to management, they have called the a-holes upstairs to tell them of the complaint. So they figured they would be even bigger a-holes every time. Update me. Hope this gets resolved soon. Start recording it. Any cracks in the ceiling, take a picture. Take pictures now of any damage they have caused. They them get charged for damage. OP says, yeah, they do call him. Then he yells at them, bullies them, and blames it on his vacuum or garbage disposal, or even lies and says he's never home and they buy it. What if it's not them? Megan just says, wear ear protection and buy an wear ear protection by an air horn. Blast it to the ceiling every time they stomp around. Murky Tail says air raid sirens are loud and fun to use as well. I don't know why the next comment was removed by the moderator. The third top rated comment is from Sakura Firefox. I had neighbors just like this, and I'm even tinier than your friend. I had enough. I would blast sleep token, pound on the ceiling, and I got to yelling match with them. I can't stand stupid, inconsiderate people. They eventually got kicked out. LP says, thanks for validating my experience. For some reason, this sub thinks my story is AI or a lie. Unfortunately, many people live this nightmare. Glad you got out. Yeah, many people do. It's common. Very common. My grandchildren say it sounds like a monster's upstairs when I walk across the floor when they're in the basement. Monster grandma. I'll get you. I'll get you, my little pretty. I did watch Wicked yesterday. Wicked for Good yesterday. It's not as good. The second half of that is just not as good as the first. It's just not. I don't know why. I don't think the songs hold up, and you should have your better songs in the back. Just saying. Hint, hint. For whoever wrote Wicked, which I don't. Next, we have Benign Existence entitled Just Two Girls Gassing Each Other Up at Starbucks. Yesterday morning, I stopped at the Starbucks across from work, as I usually do. I always order ahead, and sometimes I wait for my drink for a few minutes. Sometimes it's ready when I arrive. Yesterday, I had a few minutes to wait, and I leaned against the door or against the wall, checking my work phone. A few other people were waiting, including this lovely lady next to me exclaimed, "You're so pretty." I looked up and I said, "Me?" And she goes, "Yes, and you're so put together. Look at me. I'm wearing sweats and you look like that." I do dress nicely for work and carry a nice work bag, but the compliment was so unexpected. I said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much, and I love your glasses." She tested and says, "Oh, thank you. They're brand new, actually." I said, "Well, they look great." We gathered our drinks and headed out to meet our respective days, having made each other a little brighter. We should all do this more often, honestly. Chunky Kima says, "I love being a girl. I swear this is wholesome." Intrepid Much says, "I've gotten to the age where I can pay compliments to women and call them sweetie without issue. I even told this one group of women, 'Do you guys even know any people who are not pretty?' I've only got annoyed looks once. When she saw my gray hair, she chilled. I was between coloring. I would have loved for someone not related to me to pay me a compliment when I was young." Yeah. We should tell people they look good, even maybe if they don't look all that good. If they look good for them, that's all that counts. Tink says, "I work in bad neighborhood where many of our houseless population receive resources. Recently, I was walking to work and a woman stopped me and says, 'Excuse me, ma'am.' I readied myself to be asked for money, a lighter, or cigarette. Instead, the woman says, 'You're so beautiful.' 'Oh my gosh, thank you so much,' I said. She looks at me and says, 'Yeah, because your shoes match.'" Shoes are important. Next, we have Found Satan, and it's entitled That's Something Gru Would Do. It says, "I knew my girlfriend was going to dump me, so I set up a profile called Add Profile on her Netflix account, and 3 years later, I'm still watching." She doesn't. See, I would change. I'm evil. I would password as soon as you broke up. That password's getting changed pronto. You're getting kicked off, and the password is changing. Numeral Phyllis says, "As a backup plan, I just switch your profile names and the PFPS around. Um, so, so I see better." Says that would be remedied without raising a flag and not without raising a flag. Right. Third top right comment is Ghostly Bacon Boy. "Years ago, my best friend's now former brother-in-law did stuff to her and her sister, and afterwards blocked all of us on social media and unfriended us. Well, he had given me access to his Netflix, and he didn't change to think the password and kick me off. So I started watching a bunch of LGBTQ themed movies. Think Brokeback Mountain, Below Her Mouth, Better Than Chocolate, and his kids' animated movies so that it would change his recommendations and also show all of his random stuff in his watch history. Not only was this done to annoy him, but his new girlfriend apparently questioned why he was watching a bunch of stuff in kids' movies. It took a month or so before he changed his password and kicked me off the account, but it was fun while it lasted." I always love it when people um, put the name of the um, Reddit sub that they're in the Reddit sub, like it's, to refer it to another sub, but it's the same sub. Somebody did that. Next is Just No Mill and is entitled "You're So Lucky He lets you drive." While visiting home, we were going to an escape room 45 minutes away. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law took their kids in their van while I drove with my husband and mother-in-law. I was driving, husband in shotgun, and mother-in-law in the back seat. They were talking mostly when all of a sudden she addresses me. "You know, you're so lucky that husband is so nice that he lets you drive. Not a lot of men would let you drive like he does. He's a very special person. Um, is husband on probation? Does he have a ankle ankle monitor? Is that why she's driving? Because he has an ankle monitor? That's happened before. I've noticed it on people. She means while he's in the car, as if a man in the car must be driving. Her oldest son and husband are very strict about this rule, despite their wives driving solo all the time and with their kids. I prefer my husband to drive because he just complains when I do. So stop complaining about my driving and I'll drive more. Now, normally I hold my tongue. I try to respect her opinions, but I am proud of myself for my reply. No, he does not get points for that. I would not marry a man who thought he could let me do anything. I am my own person and I can do whatever I want. We are equals, and while I agree he is a special person, he doesn't get points for trusting me to do something I've done for 17 years. Also, for this trip, we're borrowing my aunt's car, and her rule is only women are allowed to drive her car. So I actually would be lucky if she let him drive. She backtracked a bit and tried to explain exactly why him letting me drive was so amazing. At that point, my husband took over and explained the idea that I got to make my own choices and he would never try to make rules for what I can and cannot do. Again, she tried to say how special he was for that, and he interrupted her and said it was basic decency and respect for your partner. I feel bad because her marriage is terrible, so explaining to the bare minimum is bare minimum feels like an attack on her life, but also I'm not going to sit and gush over my husband for respecting me as a human being. Exactly. Odd effort is the top rated comment, and it says, she's lucky you let her in the car. Oh. Geeky mom said, somebody told me that while I was driving them around. I don't think we had my husband in the car at the time. I think it was my mom. I looked at her funny and said, it's my car, because it was in fact my car. He had his own and he drove when we were in it. No one lets me drive my own car. I don't think she thought that was at all sexist. I prefer my husband to drive, like I said, because he complains when I do. So, and he complains that he doesn't, that I don't drive enough, because you're always complaining. Retail Hell, title Apparently This Happened. Northern Beaches says, when it feels like you have the whole shop to yourself only to find out it already closed. We don't think Werewolves is at DY offers everyday rewards points for overnight stays. And it's clearly showing a mall with a closed Woolworths and a guy standing in line waiting at the checkout, and the checkout is closed. Like, how did they lock him in there like that? And how is he going to get out? Oh, that's so funny. Sam as ever says, why isn't anyone waiting on me? Hand on the hip and everything. Next operating comment is from Head Razzmatazz. This guy was ignoring all the "we are closed" announcements. Hid in the back aisle while the employees started heading his way. Made them think everyone was gone, so they did closing duties and locked up, not until he was done shopping, however much longer that was. Did he bother to come up to the front to find the gate closed and locked and not a single employee in sight? Spicy Palm says, indeed, he deserves to be spend the night in grocery jail. Oh, have you ever spent the night in grocery jail? I've not. I get out of the store when they tell me to. I'm rarely there at closing anyway. I'm at home in my pajamas. It's 7 o'clock. Next, we have relationship advice, and it's entitled "I, male 32, wanged up big time. I broke my wife, female 31. English is not my first language. I, 33 male, married to my wife, 31 female, for 4 years. Starting of the relationship was rainbows and flowers. I wanted to do everything for her. She came from a not so financially stable family. She never wore expensive clothes, never been on a trip or to a proper restaurant. I was actually very excited that I would be her first for all these experiences, and I wanted to give her the life she never had. I wanted to provide and protect her. She's the kind of woman who loves you to the fullest. She loved me unconditionally. She cooked for me. She cleaned the house. She did my laundry for me, all while having 8-hour job, the same as mine. To be honest, I felt she was happy to do all these things for me. She even learned new recipes for me. Life started going south when I started doing gambling. Because you're an idiot. You stupid idiot. I gambled everything, my savings, her savings, my salary, and I even stole from her. Still, she didn't leave. What's wrong with her? Showing all my frustration on her, became sadistic. It came to the extent that I get relief when I see her sad. You're awful. Found Satan. Holy cow. I complained about everything she cooked and started threatening to give her money for gambling. Made extremely hurtful comments. Despite all this, she stayed with me. When I look back, there wasn't even a single day for her without crying. Whatever I do, whatever I say, she never left me. I had this confidence that she would never leave, so I started taking her for granted. Once she made a comment that I treat her like a dog, and I replied, "You don't even deserve to be my dog." This guy's awful. I cannot fathom how hurtful that must have been for her. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. You must. And we decided not to keep it, but when she was going through the process, rather than being supportive and helpful, for some reason, God knows, I told her it wasn't my baby, and she whored and got pregnant. You are evil, sir. You are just evil. I think something broke inside of her from that time. She started being very silent together. However, she kept doing her chores and talked to me in a very positive, polite way. Recently, I left my job and she prepared my CV and applied for me in all the companies. However, I never got a call. She somehow arranged for an interview for me in her organization, and the interview was yesterday. I asked for an OTP from her to create a new profile on a gambling platform. What is wrong with you? And threatened her that I won't attend the interview if she refused to give up OTP, but she still refused to give up OTP. And out of spite, I did not attend the interview. She came back home from the office yesterday evening and started shouting at me. I saw a difference in her. She said too many hurtful things, which is unlike her. She asked me to leave the house. She said I'm dead weight and staying at her house rent free. Today I messaged her for something and she replied with, "I don't wanging text me ever again. I don't want to wanging see your name on my phone anymore." And she blocked me. Good for her. She grew a spiny new backbone, didn't she? Good for her. I'm dead scared now. I have a feeling I lost her. No kidding. You should have lost her like ages ago with your behavior, sir. I know I wanged up and I know I'm the worst person ever. And we feel no, we do not feel sorry for you, sir. We do not feel sorry for you at all. Um I know now that I'm losing her. You know, you lost her a long time ago. I realize that I love her so much. No, you just love that she takes care of you and takes care of all your problems because you're an idiot. I literally can't live without her. Okay, that's fine. Don't. I'm mean. I just need one chance to redeem everything. Sir, you have had so many chances. So many. Want to turn back time and undo everything. I'm ready to I'm ready to anything. I will want to give her everything for her. Please need advice. I want her back. Is there a chance for me still? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Because you don't deserve it. You are an evil, evil, evil person. How did this even get in here? We don't even use this subject. Blueberry Daydream says, haha, I'm glad she left you. Get therapy and leave her alone. And Chuckle Puss answers, right? Wang this dude because you know what'll happen if she does take him back? He'll go right back to being a massive, selfish, gaping a-hole. You wanged up and found out, OP. And I couldn't be happier. Your soon to be wife, poor woman. Competitive Pie is the second top rated comment. So happy this woman got out of this abusive marriage. Plastic Archer says, girlie deserves a wanging celebration for escaping. Good for her. Finally realizing he was a lost cause and getting him kicked to the curb. And he will. If she takes him back, he'll just start doing the same dang thing. I mean, he can't even stop gambling for Pete's sake. Dry Rain says, it's the third top right comment. You actually love her? They the F away from her. You sound toxic and ungrateful. Get a therapist instead. Ahem says he doesn't love her at all, only loves whatever she gave him, which was everything, and he threw it all away. Of course he would have moved back to the other into the other victims he can't get his hands on. And that's all I have for that. He deserved it. I have no sympathy for that man. None. All the sympathy in the world for his soon to be ex wife, thank goodness. None for him. She stayed way too long. Way too long. Girls, you're better than this. You deserve better. Everyone deserves better than that guy. That guy deserves no one. Next, we have Petty Revenge, and it is entitled The Airplane Cleaner Stole My AirPods. About 6 months ago, I had a layover in Houston. After deplaning and going through security, I realized my headphones had fallen out of my pocket. I submitted the lost claim item with United and gave the description of the color, the silicone case they had come in, plane info, seat number, the whole thing. I also set it to lost mode and included my phone number to call me. I emailed United a few times stating I could see that they had moved from the plane to what seemed like the United office space. I now realize that it was probably an employee lockers. After about 24 hours, I saw them go to an apartment building. I watched them go from the apartment building to the airport back and forth and tracked the schedule. I gave United the address of the employee, their schedule, and what days they had worked. Surely the home address and the schedule was enough to pinpoint who it was so they could at least deal with it internally. Wasn't exactly excited to get the AirPods back if they had been wearing them. United told me that because the AirPods had left the property, they would not do anything, and I had to file a police report with Houston PD. I live in Arizona. They closed my claim. I use Find My for a lot of various AirTags and things. For the last few months, whenever I see my lost headphones with the earbud, I hit play sound on the earbud and blast the wearer's ears out. I see them quickly go back into the case. If they would have called me when they found them, I happily would have sent them a reward, even enough to buy their own basic pair. I understand they're expensive and not everyone can swing a pair. I'm slowly working toward making them go deaf, so no one else loses a set of headphones to them. I think this is the pettiest thing I've ever done. I didn't know you had that much control over AirPods. It's kind of cool. Why now? Says a friend of mine lost his AirPods on a plane. Basic location address. He could find names of suspects. A little Googling and searching on IG, and he found the culprit. Holiday pictures in the same location as AirPods. Sends a message to this guy that he will inform his employer to get the AirPods in the mail. Aunt Wee says, I think Apple needs to create a tone called These Missing Items Are in the Possession of Someone I Don't Know. Really wanging loud. Lisa Rosa answers, when a friend picked up my phone by accident, I used the Find My and we watched my phone go down the highway. I don't know who had my phone, and my son made it make a really loud noise, and he had a message to call my husband's phone to return it. She said the noise was really obnoxious and it worked great. I can't pronounce that. Says answers did this when my daughter's phone was stolen at school. I blew that wanger up. Guess it scared the kid who took it because my daughter found it under a portable building. Don't stop making it sound off until she called from it. Mr. Stampy is the third top rated comment and says, hey, hit up United's executive customer service, telling them that you know your AirPods were stolen by an employee and that you have proof. Executive's customer service generally doesn't wing around. And she says she'll check that out. Anui says, also fire Anway. And Ennui. It's hard to say that because it's a foreign language and it looks weird. Also file a complaint with FAA. Airlines can jerk you around, but if they ignore an FAA complaint, they get a hefty fine. Source, airline jerked me around on losing my luggage until I filled out an FAA complaint, then magically cared. Central says the same thing happened to me with AT&T. I sent a phone back. Had proof the phone got to them via UPS tracking number, but they claim they never received it. I was on the phone for hours with customer service who never budged. I lodged a complaint with the FCC and got a phone call from the office of the president of AT&T, which I'm guessing is their version of executive customer service. My issue was handled within minutes to my satisfaction. It sucks that you need to go through such lengths to be heard, though. It does. I mean, that's why you escalate. That's why you say, okay, I want to speak to your manager because this is not being handled to my satisfaction. Sometimes the lower people can't do anything. Sometimes they'll just ask their manager, and the manager will say the same thing you're saying. And in that case, SOL, unless you jump to a higher person. This is called from Am I the Jerk? And it's entitled AITJ for saying, ooh, a bully to a 7-year-old. My 31 female brother is 38 male, is currently going through a divorce and having trouble adjusting and figuring everything out regarding my 2 nephews. My mom and I have been helping with school pickup and drop offs because my sister in law works for the school district and can't make it to a school. Little man, 6 male, has been having trouble with a bully in his class. His dad has opinions, but my sister in law doesn't want to make too much noise since she works for the district. Oh, that's BS, because that's the person who should be making the most noise. My kids are getting bullied, you better take care of it. I think that's her not wanting to deal, but whatever. I was a lucky winner this day of being off work at a time I could pick up little man. I was greeting his teacher and giving him his hug when this little bully came up and started teasing him. Little man told him to stop and started hiding behind me. Finally, the kid says, "Ooh, a baby." I, I'm guessing to mock him for trying to hide because at this point, little man was getting upset. We used to call my oldest son little man. The kid ignored every attempt the teacher gave him to stop before that point, and finally I had it. I looked at the little snot in the eye and said, "Ew, a bully." Apparently, he didn't like being called out. So now I have a 6-year-old to have a good trying to have a go at me. Hilarious insults these little kids come up with. Now every time he said something to me or tried to become closer, I would take a step back with little man, gently shoo him away with my hand while making overly disgusted face. The kid started crying and ran off. My brother bought me a beer. He thought it was funny. My sister-in-law is pissed that saying I bullied a child and made problems for her at work, imagining the emotional damage I did to that kid, blah, blah, blah. Kid is emotionally damaging other kids. Kid deserved it. Sorry. Don't teach your kids to be bullies. Even got even angrier when I mentioned how she doesn't even seem to care about the emotional damage that kid was doing to her son. My mom agrees with my sentiment, but thinks I should have been more mature about it. Yeah, sometimes you got to get down on their level. I don't want to cause problems for my sister-in-law at work, but would this even cause problems? She works for a different school in the district than the one little man attends. I was a jerk for how I handled the kid. No, I think it was the proper way to handle a child is to get down on their level and teach them a lesson. Furthermore, um, why would this come back to her at all? She's not you. This is not on her. Actions that should not reflect on her at all. It's different. You're different people. Okay, listen. As a top comment, it says, "Wow, you badass aunt. NTJ, your sister-in-law action should be recorded. She's not stepping up to protect him. You did." A deleted LP says, "She's one of those moms who only wants to be there for the fun and happy stuff. Discipline and anything unpleasant has been left to my brother. So brother's going to get the kids." That's what I'm reading. Brother's going to get the kids. Throw Turtle Away says, "This reminds me of videos where people try to stop the victim from fighting back, but never did a damn thing during the lead up from the bully." Exactly. And that makes me so angry. Exactly. OP, and that comparison is spot on because people always seem more bothered by the reaction than the actual bullying that led up to it. You were standing up for your nephew when no one else was stepping in, and that kid only got upset because he finally got called out. It's wild how quick folks are to scold when defending themselves or someone vulnerable while ignoring the kid who started it. Yes. Third top party comment is Geek Off the Street says, NTJ, I still remember when I was a little punk ass mean girl, like in 4th grade, and I had a dance teacher tell me, "You're not as cool as you think you are," when she caught me being mean to another girl. That crap stuck with me, and I swear I became a nicer person. Q Rogue says, "Oh my God, the you're not that cool always seems to work with the middle school age kids. Glad you grew out of your ways. The teacher did you a solid." Oberon Swanson said, "It speaks the truth to the situation, I think. Typically, the most popular kids are actually not bullies. They don't want they don't have to put anything down to feel better because they are secure in their status. The bullies think that if they put other people down, they can rise to the top. But pointing out they need to do that means some as soon as that is pointed out, putting the other people down doesn't seem as appealing as acting like you're one of those kids who doesn't have to bully anyone." I just realized I forgot my spiel again. Next, we have entitled people entitled Sister in Law Antics. My wife's sister has been unfortunately living in my house for the past 3 years. Why? Why? That is well past the fish smelling stage of 3 days. I recently upgraded my home security with Ring. The kit came with an extra camera, so I plugged it in facing the back door. Sister in law saw it and lost her damn mind, accused me of spying on her. Does he have a reason to spy on you? Why are you paranoid? So I had a vacation plan and I felt like all my bases were covered back home when I received a notification that my camera was offline. It's hardwired and the wireless is still working. So I knew it had been unplugged. We arrived home and sure enough, it had been unplugged and turned around. I told her not to disable my security camera and she snapped back that she doesn't like being spied on. I told her it's not watching her, it's monitoring my back door for security. She said she would do it again, so I casually dropped that if it happened again, I would buy 10 hidden cameras and place them where she couldn't find them. Empty threat because my kid wife would throw a fit, but sister-in-law doesn't know that. I can hear her in her room checking the closet and door frames. Coco Almonds Rock says, "You have a wife problem. She needs to get her sister under control and out of your house." You have a yourself problem if you can't get that sister-in-law out of your house. Why is she living with you for 3 freaking years? Rex says you have bigger problems than cameras if your sister-in-law has been living in your house for 3 years. Sounds like she's running the place. It did actually say 3 tiers. I substituted the correct. I sicked it. Salisbury Witch says, "I know it was a typo, but tears doesn't fit the situation." Third top priority comment is from Professional Bride. And it says, "Your sister-in-law needs to leave yesterday. I have a brother-in-law like her, and my sister and his wife refused to enforce boundaries on him. Further, get an armored enclosure for the camera so she can't mess with that thick glass box." OP says, "I'm not gunning for a divorce, but this is the one thing we fight about. My wife realizes she made tension in the house by talking to me, rescuing a fully functional adult. I'm already looking for a locking outlet box." Good. Next, we have Murdered by Words, and it's Jake Paul against AOC. Gotta love AOC. She has a way with words. Jake Paul says, "Purposely turning off the halftime show. This has got to be about Bad Bunny again. Bad Bunny's a good bunny. Let's rally together and show big corporations that they can't just do whatever they want without consequences, which equals viewership for them. You are their benefit. Realize you have power. Turn off this halftime. A fake American citizen performing who publicly hates America. I can't support that." AOC answers, "A fake American citizen? Didn't you move to Puerto Rico to avoid paying taxes while kids across America go hungry? Meanwhile, Benito actually funds low-income kids access to arts and sports programs when you defund them. Of course you're mad. He makes you look small." Jake Paul is small. He is the smallest of the small. Hello, friend says, "Here's what is so very stupid about this crap. These are the same people that think we should take over Greenland and make them Americans. So you'd think they'd be proud that Puerto Rico is part of America. It makes us a bigger country, right? Makes more people out subjects. But they have the wrong skin color, so they're fake Americans. Upper Ape says conservatives are obsessed with Nordic countries, not because of their democratic socialism, their culture, or their history. Sanspeed says social democracy, Nordic countries are still capitalist countries. Yes, exactly. Expectations versus reality. The qualities of sweethearts has gone downhill. WTF is this slop? Says they don't make them like they used to. And I assume these are the used tos. I remember those. I don't care for them that much. Oh my. Maybe you got fake one ton. That looks terrible. You sure they haven't been sitting around for a year? Those might have been sitting around for a year. Beyonce says, oh, I was waiting for a flight in DC back in December, ended up having a conversation with a man who maintains the printing equipment for food. His machine marks Skittles, M&Ms, and other products. Because dye number 3 has been banned, it must be phased out within the next year. The machinists like him are scrambling to work with food scientists, not only creating a new dye formula, but they're also working to these issues of these dyes performing the same with the machinery. Everything is still being tweaked and worked out, and I bet this is the same issue. I can't believe I know this. Also, dye number 3 has been banned in numerous countries for years. This is not an excuse. That's not an excuse. Christian Kong, I promise I don't read these ahead. I would believe your story, but you would think Europe having the same dye ban for 30-ish years, some would have figured out an alternative figured out. That's what I said. And then somebody's making excuses for them. UK version is called Love Hearts. And it looks like this, which are nice. There you go. Just do that. But that would mean changing. Here's the answer to that one. Epic. Oh, I love Reddit. Okay, something says, I mean, they look about as crap as they ever did, and they still taste like fizzy shock. At least the embossing makes them more legible, even with the crappy coloring. I don't think that's the reason they do that. I think it's just easier. Quality of everything is crap now. That is true. Dougie Lou says, as a lover of these hearts, which have been crapped on for decades, it's insulting that the producers would take an already generally hated product and make them even crappier. Like, man, we already scraping the bottom by standing for you and your crap on us. Code name Zoya says, everything everywhere sucks all the time. The top one says, melt my hearty orange. So there's that. Next, we have Zilla Gone Wild. Advice to realtors. If you are using AI to stage a photo, make sure to exorcise the mirror demons from that picture. Oh my God. That's hysterical. It's not a house right now. But that's hysterical. Like, how? Why? I'm confused. It's so funny. Should send that to my niece. Guess we're not looking at a house today. And it's okay. Because that was worth it. True nightmare fuel was the top comment. The banished bard says, sitting aside the eldritch horror in the mirror, what's the random wooden box with the pillow on the floor? AI is so crap, it's actually hilarious as well as terrifying. I mean, we've been looking at a lot of realty that has AI in it, and you know it's crap. You know it is. Honest Salamander says, WTF is that? Zillow should allow comments so everyone could crap on whatever realtor or homeowner thought this was funny. Reminds me of the house with the snowman in the basement with a Halloween mask on. That was terrifying. They did not want to sell that house. Okay, here's interesting AF. It's entitled Irresponsible Parents Taught by Man Dressed as Mickey Mouse. Okay, I'll bite. Make sure my. All right. Sometimes I turn my sound off. I did not last night though. That's a headline is not Mickey Mouse who has to teach you how to be parents video shows.
Okay, there you go. Mickey Mouse wants you to watch this man.
What a good Mickey. He's wearing a cape. He is a superhero. Some superheroes wear capes. Now Mickey does. Nicolario says plot twist that guy wasn't the father. No, he was probably a grandfather from the looks of him. Actively resting says child cat with it blocked out and says child distribution system at work. Hey there, Taylor. I read a post a long time ago by a former cast member at Disney World or Land, I can't remember. They basically said whenever they found the lost child, they would always ask, did your parents get lost? Because kids are never lost at Disney World. They're exactly where they're supposed to be. 100%. Also, it helps calm the child because it's like, I'm not lost. My parents are lost. My parents did something bad, but not me. Ileana Lama says, I worked several places where children are prone to getting lost and always ask, do you need help finding your family rather than are you lost? For one, not a significant number of kids will be perfectly happy not knowing where their family is until you suggest they are lost, at which point they absolutely melt down, like I said. Two, it validates that they are not doing anything wrong as you suggest. It's just a small problem we need to solve together. Kids shut down and get defensive if they think they might get in trouble, which is not helpful when you need information from them. Chaos Draws Near says, my kid has a necklace with mom and dad's phone number on one side. They wear it anytime we're going somewhere with a higher probability of getting separated. Every time we go over what to do if mom and dad gets lost, mom and dad getting lost is silly and funny. Kiddo getting lost is terrifying. It has never been used, but I feel a lot better knowing that if we get separated, kiddo knows exactly what to do and is less likely to get scared or shut down. It's a good idea. Just an A says Mickey walking away because he's about to fully crash out. Right? Bing Bong Hit Donor says he was about to turn into the evil Mickey from South Park. We got to go back. We're going to go back and watch South Park. We never watched it when it was on, but we've been watching this season. Other than the poop thing, which makes me gag. South Park's pretty good. Thunderdog says, got to keep your kids safe. There could be billionaires wandering a place like that. Yeah, no kidding. Somebody says they like to be called the pedophile class. Eat Harry Sock says the cannibalistic pedophile class. Did you hear what happened? This girl went on a trip, American, just American citizenship. I think she might have even been born here. Um, Went on a trip, came home, and got put in detention because they didn't like her travel history. Like, what kind of bogus thing is that? They lost her phone, and then they found her phone, looked at her messages, and turned the phone off. I'm not even sure she got her phone back. And then they released her in a totally different state than what she lived in. Ridiculousness. Sorry, that's my ice rant for the day. I'll probably have one every day. Maybe I should have one every day. Should I have one every day? Please let me know. I might have one every day, whether you approve or not. Next is Am I the A hole? AITAH for expecting a girl to get off a treadmill in the gym. The gym I go to doesn't have a lot of treadmills, and I've recently started running. I went to the gym with my partner last night, and all of the treadmills were in use. I used some weight machines to start and then went back to the treadmills. I noticed there was a girl just sitting on treadmill while her friend was using the treadmill next to her. She had been there for about 15 minutes not using it, so I went up and asked if she was planning to use it. She said she was with her friend, uh, but I just said she can wait next to her friend's machine instead of taking up machines from people who want to use them. She shrugged her shoulders and refused to move. A woman comes over and asks what's happening, so I explained. She said she's the girl's mother and that I shouldn't be telling her daughter to move. Well, we see where the problem comes from. I just said her daughter shouldn't be taking up machines she has no intention of using. She said her daughter is feeling to sit there if she wants and that she is doing nothing wrong. Yes, she is. She's taking up a machine that someone else could be using. That is wrong. I just said I can see where her daughter gets her entitlement from. She said I was out of order commenting on her parenting probably. But I just said that should be a better parent if she can't handle criticism. A staff member came over when I explained what was going on, asked the daughter to move off the treadmill and leave the gym. My girlfriend said maybe I shouldn't argue with the mother, but I don't see how I've done anything wrong. AITAH for asking a girl to get off a treadmill in the gym and arguing with her mother. You should have gone to the manager or whoever, an employee, straight away when she wouldn't move the first time. Say, listen, I want to use that treadmill. All she's doing is sitting there. Let them handle it, but not really the a-hole. No. And TM it next time you might just considering notifying an attendant first. Going all the J, going all the J says answers before asking politely once. Did everyone really backslide that far socially? Apple's sniffer says, um, answers after you ask politely once. Don't stick around to argue. Yes, exactly. Yeah, don't stop arguing with these people. Misophilis says a member of the staff came over when I explained why it was going on. Asked the daughter to move off the treadmill or leave the gym. Totally right way to handle it. This is a gym, not a social hangout for kids with no parenting, not NTA. Irish Wall says not quite totally right way. As soon as the princess sitting on the machine refused to move, OP should have gone and found the member of the staff. I agree with that. Certainly as soon as mommy got involved. Either way, OP is NTA here. No control is a third top rated comment, and they say NTA. It was a polite request that escalated due to the other person's unjustified sense of entitlement. Exactly. Edit remove. Maybe I'm the a hole, but I don't think there's anything wrong with going to the staff first. I don't always do this myself, but I don't have an issue with doing it if my neighbors call the police on me. If my neighbors call the police on me, it doesn't bother me that they didn't talk to me first. Why would the police be calling the police on you, ma'am? What are you doing? In theory, police have the tools, authority, and training to deal with it if that is their problem, and my accountant neighbor does not. Not to mention that it's their purpose and their job. I would guess that the gym staff would actually prefer to be notified of problems. I would ask them once to go directly to the front desk, but if the situation were reversed, it wouldn't bother me if staff asked me to move first. I do have a story. Don't I always? Uh, so I called the police on somebody without talking to them first once. Normally I would talk to them first. So what happened was, Unless they're a bad neighbor you don't talk to, you just call. I've done that too. But so this neighbor had a dead deer in their yard. I noticed it in the fall, and I thought they'd gotten rid of it. And it snowed a lot all summer, all winter. And then in the spring, the snow started melting, and I noticed that dang deer was still there. So I called the authorities. I wasn't going to talk to her about it. She had people living with her. I wasn't it wasn't the neighbor. I liked the neighbor. I liked the neighbor perfectly fine. It was the people she had living with her, which was her sister's bratty kids. And I think by that time the drug dealing brother-in-law was there too. Um so I called the cops, blah 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 blah. A couple months later, like it had been months, sees me at school. We're picking up kids, and she says, "Did you call the cops about that deer in my yard?" And I said, "Yeah." I admitted that I did it. And she goes, "Thank you so much. I was trying all winter to get them to get that damn deer out of my yard." So sometimes it's not a bad thing to call the cops without talking to the neighbor. There was a whole other kerfuffle around there. It was stupid. It was stupid. Overheard at a wedding. I went to the bar at a wedding to get a drink. There was a girl 7 or 8 ahead of me. She ordered Shirley Temple and said, "Make it a double." The bartender asked her what she meant. She looked at him like he was a total moron and replied with 2 cherries. That's great. Oh, Maeve Carpenter says that's adorable. Who's got your goat daddy? Says I was around 8 or 9 when I went through a Shirley Temple phase where I'd order it every time we went out to eat. The thing was, I thought they were supposed to have alcohol in them, and I knew I wasn't allowed alcohol. However, I heard my mom order drinks without alcohol by asking for virgin such and such. So, yep, 8-year-old me says I'd like a virgin Shirley Temple, please. For a couple of years, I would actually get somewhat frustrated that anyone in earshot would start laughing. Oh. Nesta says, "Oh my god, I did the same thing since I don't drink much or a large variety, and I am today years old realizing and looking into this." See, I laughed myself into a coughing fit. Oh, that's hysterical. I love it. Feral Fluid says, "My parents were bar people. They taught me to order a 7 and 7, hold the 7 with 2 cherries, please." Oh, that's funny. That's freaking funny. Next, we have True Off My Chest. I haven't spent the best Christmas of my life since I got married, and it's making my husband panicking. I'm 5 months pregnant. When I found out about my pregnancy, my husband's nephew punched me hard in the stomach. Oh my gosh. Sister in law said it was a phase, but then Christmas came and mother in law called to say the phase was still going on. And since they didn't want accidents, that I should stay home this time. My husband, to my surprise, started packing on the 21st. I said, "Oh, you wanted me to stay?" He says, correctly interpreting my facial expression. I stood silent and then I said, "No, you can go." And he smiled sheepishly. My work colleague, an unmarried older woman, suggested we could do something together, and I spent Christmas with her. I don't really remember the last time I was this happy during the holiday. I don't have family, and my husband's was the only one I knew. And for the last 15 years, I have endured my passive aggressive alcoholic father in law, pretentious mother in law, and golden child sister in law, who peaked in high school and married the jock. Oh, cool. I slept in, stayed in, and ate whatever I wanted without anyone commenting on my body. No rants about how some minorities ruined it for the rest. But of course, you were one of the good ones. Oh, oh, not only is she married into this family, they're also racist. Oh, poor OP. The latest, I don't think your baby will have blue eyes. Like, I really care. I didn't and didn't under basic, like, I really didn't care. Or I think she meant understand basic biology. Having to wake up at 7 a.m. if you're literally missed meals, hours. You needed to wait for the next meal because it's disrespectful not to be on time. I would not be getting up at 7 a.m. and I would be eating because I would get hangry. Being forced to cook weird food from my home country so they can sniff and wrinkle their noses and call it interesting. Most of all, I didn't have my husband by my side being anxious the entire stay, not wanting to rock the boat, trying to soften blows and explain that they really didn't mean any of it. Oh, they mean it. They probably mean worse, to be honest. When he got home, he was as anxious and me being very happy as opposed to the usual crying all the way home from his parents. Made him even more anxious. I told him I was fine and that I had a great time. He was panicking. He apologized and said that in hindsight he should have stayed home with me instead, but he would not have celebrated Christmas with his family, and they would definitely have been disappointed. I said nothing, just looked at his anxious face, probably with a frown that made him even more anxious. Everything is fine, I said again. Now I guess I understood why he's panicking because why have I let this go on for so long? My colleague is also a lonely woman, no family, and she is so much happier than I have been in many years. I've been thinking about this newfound freedom in loneliness since Christmas, and I guess my husband is sensing it. West Vehicle says, the last Christmas I was married to my ex, he was upset I didn't have as much PTO as him, so he left our son and I home for Christmas. Why didn't he take the kid with him? It was the nicest Christmas we ever had. I didn't have him making us miserable. It was also eye-opening how much I did not miss him. In fact, I preferred his absence. Sounds like you are having the same realization. We separated a few months later. That feeling didn't go away, and I couldn't ignore it. I did not enjoy his company. I was happy around him. OP might be fine with the husband if he drops his family, but who knows if that's going to happen or not. Squid Boy Mushroom Head says, I wish growing up my son was there for Christmas. He ruined it every time being a huge baby. Appropriate Dirt says, I think that's why the husband is freaking out because he knows that on some level she's happier without them. Marty K says, the kid is punching pregnant women. Exactly. Ad Accomplished says, it's a phase, the homicidal psycho phase. Right? Unusual Shrub says, I've never heard of. Honestly, he shouldn't be punching anyone ever. Like, where does he get away with this? And how old did she say he was? She didn't say how old he was. I mean, if it's a 2-year-old, that's one thing. If it's a 6-year-old, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anyone over 3. Unusual Shrub said, I've heard of biting phase, but never in my life have heard of a kid with a punch everyone in the breadbasket as hard as you can phase. Maybe the kid should stay home. Corfiz says usually lasts until juvie, especially if it goes on. Hard according is the third top rated comment, and they say stop going altogether because your baby will get hit and they won't do anything. Yeah. Yeah. Think about how your child's going to be treated by these people. Own brother says, plus, why would you expose your child to their obvious racism and the golden child dynamic? Sister in law's psycho son is going to be the golden child of their generation, and OP's child will be the scapegoat. Exactly. LOL Seabass says, I'm not racist. My grandchild is mixed. Yeah. I know people with that too. Oops. This is from What Do I Do? It's entitled My Guy Friend is Flirting with Me even though yeah. Even though he said he knows I'm not into men. Oops. Oh, I didn't do that. I don't like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, we have texts. It says, please know that you're very important to my soul and need you in my life. And she answers, why? He says, because I want you to be the mother of my unborn children. She says, that's a weird request. He says, no, it's not. I want a future with you. I'm madly and deeply in love with you. OP, only God knows my inner soul of love for you. Oh my gosh, it's like gagging me already. You can't fall in love with someone you only met once. Also, weren't you telling me that you were not trying to flirt with me? He says, love is something that comes from the soul of every human. I've been real and true with you. From that day I was you, my mind can't stop thinking about you. I have never been my real self because you keep rolling in my spirit. This guy's weird. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. This is the first thing you told me, and I told you that I'm not OP. Um, I'm madly and deep. Okay, then she quotes him and says, "So what's this?" Uh, I'm telling something very important, and she says, "It looks like flirting to me." Says, "Can you stop, please?" And she says, "You don't even seem to respect the fact that I told you I'm a lesbian." He says, "Do you want me to lie to you? Which, of course, I will not do that. I will be real with you. Yes, I love you." It's the LP's name. What's the LP's name? It's deleted. Never mind. Okay. I love you deleted. Why are you saying words like this? Or you want to push me away from you? And he says, um, and then he says, this really hurt a lot. And she says, what hurts? Like that I like women? And he says, stop, please. Oh, deleted you to say this because you want me to stay away from you, and I can't do that. And then he called her. And she says, no, I genuinely like women so much. They are so beautiful. Also, I'm trying to sleep, have an exam tomorrow. Oh, for Pete's sake, this man. Just take no for an answer. And she says, what type of manipulation even is this? Original Box's top comment. And they say, sorry, you said he was flirting. Then the first line is, I want you to be the mother of my unborn children. I was very taken aback. Zytac says, taken aback doesn't even begin to cover it. I'd be putting the whole car in reverse. Um, Runaway Alien says, I'd block him. He's not respecting that you're lesbian. And him saying it hurts him to know that lesbian, and yet he thinks you're just saying that. Block that man. Keep screenshots of everything. I have a feeling he's obsessed and will do more if you block him. But seriously, I think you need to get him out of your life. Yeah, no kidding. There's also another answer from Beach in Life says, they only met once. He shouldn't be saying that crap to her, lesbian or not. He's a nut and she needs to totally block him. Yes, he's cray cray. Super cray cray. Nobody should act like that. If somebody's acting like that, they have issues and they need to get addressed pronto. So far says, as a fellow lesbian who has experienced respectful guy friends developing harmless crushes on me, this guy is not your friend. He's a complete weirdo. Validated. Al says, as a straight man with gay friends who crush on me, these text messages make my skin crawl to read. This is not harmless flirting from a friend. Yeah, no kidding. Winging GD says, exactly, that's fishing attempt to see how gay they actually are. I have a couple of gay friends who had the exact same thing happen. The texter's hoping they aren't as gay as they say. It's weird crap and pathetic, truth be told. The third top comment is from Hamd Ali Khan. Oh, Hamed Ali Khan says that's not flirting, that's deranged predatory behavior. Exactly. Bam says yes, block him. He's also a recipe for gaslighting disaster. Another answer is from Willow's Quest. It says literally, I was like, well, I would agree with him that is not flirting. Not only because he skipped all the flirting steps and gone right to the freak ass possessiveness and talking about knocking up OP and willfully ignoring that there is no way she will ever willingly be into him. No way she'd ever be willingly into him. Girl, run. OP says, now that you put it that way, it sounds creepy AF, not gonna lie. Willow's Quest answers legitimately, though, anyone who brings any kind of spirituality into justifying their instant obsession is basically the divine intervention flavor of, well, he can't help his being predatory. All men are like that, blaming God instead of taking any kind of accountability for his own feelings and actions. If he had it his way, he would be able to marry you and get you pregnant and say it was all God's plan and that he's cured your sin or whatever. Completely regardless of your own feelings and desires. Please, please do not entertain conversations with him. Even if he won't actually do anything, it's disrespectful and disgusting for him to continue on like this. Source: grew up in U.S. Southern Baptist spaces. I've seen this crap from the inside as well as in even more extreme evangelical and other Christian spaces. I've had more than enough comparable stories from women and other faiths to believe that this is a universal tactic for this genre of man. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, tell everybody, and email us if you need anything. Email's in the description. I guess they were right. It does look like it's gonna. Now I have to deal with storms as well as having to go out. I should have done it this morning. Dang it. Next, we have entitled parents, and it's entitled "My Mom Called My University Advisor to Fix My Major, and Now She's Acting Like I'll Owe Her an Apology." This worries me because it sounds almost like the college went along with it, and they should not do that. Most colleges are very good about not having mommy and daddy make decisions about the kids. I'm 21, female, so she's a full-grown adult, junior in college, living on campus. My mom has always been the kind of parent who treats my life like a group project she's leading. Oh, that sounds awful. I'm so sorry, OP. Smiled and said she was supportive, but she never stopped making little digs like, "You're going to be so poor." No, those people are not poor. Or, "That's not a real career." Yeah, it is. We need more people going into that. I usually ignore it. Last week, I got an email from my academic advisor asking me if I could stop by because there was a confusion about my course plan. I go in thinking it's all about a prereq. Nope. My advisor says my mom called the department office and left a voicemail about how I'm lost and emotionally unstable, and that I was changing majors to something useless and needed to get back on track. She also asked if they could send her my grades because she pays for everything. No, she doesn't. I have loans and a part-time job. She pays for everything. Your mother is unstable and needs counseling. My advisor looked uncomfortable and basically told me they shut her down, but they wanted to make sure I'm safe and not being forced into anything. I wanted to melt into the carpet. Like, imagine your mom pitching you as a crisis case to your school. I called my mom, asked her what the hell she was thinking. She immediately went into this calm voice she uses when she's trying to sound reasonable and said she was just advocating. Then she admitted she also emailed one of my professors to ask why I got a B on a paper because she knows I'm smarter than that. How does she know your grades? My parent never once asked for my grades in college, and he was paying part of it. Um, and I never ever asked for any of my kids' grades in college because it's not my business. They're grown adults. I told you she crossed a massive line and I'm an adult. She started crying and said I'm ungrateful. No, she's not ungrateful. She's not ungrateful. She's an adult. And the only person who actually cares about my future. Oh, this lady. I understand why the girl's going into psychology, though. Then she tried to flip it on me and say my advisor probably thinks she's a bad mother. Told them to clarify that she meant well. When I said no, she got sharp and said if I keep pushing her away, don't come crying when I fail out. Rude. Oh my goodness. You don't say that to a kid. Any kid at any age. I haven't slept right since. Part of me feels guilty because she's convinced she's helping, but I also feel like she's trying to take control of my life by embarrassing me into compliance. Am I wrong for telling her she's on an info diet from now on? No, she shouldn't even be asking. Why are you giving her fuel? No, you're not the a-hole. at all. That's what I call- Herman Munster's shoes. So there's some big shoes. I don't know why they're sevens. They're not. They're more like sevens and heavens. Says, "You're not wrong for this at all. It will not get better or change until you begin to stand like you are now. I'm sorry she did that. Nice work standing your ground." And OP says, "Thanks. I keep second guessing myself, but the advisor thing was my wake up call. I'm setting boundaries and she can be mad. I'm done being managed anymore." Good, good. That should have started a couple years ago when you turned 18. I don't even think I asked for the, well, I got given grades in high school, but I didn't really ask for them most of the time. Glenn says, plus even she doesn't even think she's helping. You need to stop believing that that's what she thinks. Until you do, you will never come to this problem the way it should be dealt with. She's controlling and manipulative and not helping. Helping would be supporting you in your decisions, even if she didn't agree with them, or working to help you achieve your back to make your professors question your sanity or mental state. Helping is not trying to get them to switch you out of your major without your consent. Helping is not demanding to see your grades so she can berate or manipulate you. Exactly. Apatox is a second rate, top rated comment, and it says, former anniversary, firm anniversary. Oh my goodness. Former university teacher here. I presume to be unstable and would not share any information because that is illegal here, sharing adults' data. Yes, exactly. And send her away. I'd fully blame her for her actions. And yes, this happens more than we like. I know. I know. Because they do it at jobs too, and it's ridiculous. Dipper to Mabel says, thank you. My advisor mentioned FERPA too and basically refused to engage her. I'm saving the voicemail emails in case she tries again. Appreciate you. Emma Peel answers her, higher ed student affairs pro here. Use your advisor as a resource to find your counseling services if you think it would be helpful. She does need a counselor. I fully support this. She needs to talk to a professional about how to navigate with her mother. Go to your student portal and make sure everything is locked down. The university staff and faculty are on your side. Don't be afraid to talk to them. FERPA protects your school records and HIPAA protects any medical or counseling records, so don't hesitate to get what you need. Yeah, my son had turned 18 and he had gone to the doctor for something, and I accidentally asked what he was in for, and then they're like, "We can't give you that." I'm like, "No, no, I know, I'm dumb. Don't worry about it. No big deal. I shouldn't even asked you and put you in that position because it wasn't my business. He was 18." Kev says you're not wrong, and she's a horrible mother. Thank goodness the university didn't listen to her. They don't. They're very good about not. Universities as a whole are very good about not getting mommy and daddy involved in student activities, I guess. Student decisions. When I took my son, he was the only one that went away for college. When I took my son to orientation, they of course had, their orientation, and then you have the parent orientation. And the parents, the people were out there, and then we got to student life and housing. And they're like, if your student is in uh, housing at the university, and they were going over the rules, and then they got to your student can have, someone overnight, like 2 nights in a row, blah, 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 blah. Although my kid was there way longer. I think the kids were all in cahoots with each other, getting her to stay most of the time. Um, and and somebody raised their hand. They said, "Well, they can't have people of the opposite sex stay over, can they?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, they can. They're adults. They can do that." She's like, "My baby's not an adult. My baby's 17 years old." And they're like, "Well, here they're considered an adult and they can have opposite sex visitors stay in their room overnight." And she says, "Not my baby. My baby's 17 years old." And they're like, "You signed the paperwork that says it's okay. You had the rules, lady. If you don't want your kid to have overnight guests when they're 17, then you need to keep them at home." I thought it was funny because I knew that was coming. Or send them to a school who doesn't where the you can send them to schools where that's not allowed. They'll cost you some money because they're not public universities, but you can. Uh, so OP answers the she's a horrible mother thing. I appreciate it hearing horrible mother is weirdly validating, but also depressing. I'm just relieved the advisor clocked it and shut her down fast. The advisor clocked it because she gets this all the time and she's not allowed to give out information. Next, we have Oh No Consequences. Oh, this is going to be funny. I can just tell it's going to be funny. It's entitled Evidently She's Never Heard of the Term Ricochet Before. The original, okay, it's not. Hold on. The original is entitled Surfing and Shooting a Nerf Gun at Your Phone. You know it's going to be good. Let me- why is it doing that? Okay. It disappeared. There it goes. Okay. So let's see what's happening.
Lexi, are you kidding me? Don't worry about me. I'm strong.
Oh, that's
Never mind, I'm not strapped.
okay, that was funny. I thought she was going to bring her phone, though. I'm glad she didn't bring her phone. I am. That was funny. Idiot. Mira Jeek says, really, though, something like an airsoft or BB for sure. You'd expect a ricochet, but a perfect bounce from a Nerf dart is pretty unexpected. OP says, hoping it didn't hurt her too hard. I think some of it was a surprise. Yeah, I think so too. I don't think she was really hurt. It's Nerf. She wasn't really hurt. It was genuinely hilarious. And Pitiful Stay says, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. Silent Ed says, I'm sad I can't like this more than once. Santa pushes Ralph down the slide with his boot. Oh, that's funny. Oh my goodness. Remember our one from yesterday about the lady whose partner wouldn't answer her, wouldn't eat her food? Does this look familiar, anyone? Yeah, that's pork chops, cheesy potatoes, and broccoli. And she says the butter melted on the broccoli, like right after this photo was taken. And the potatoes are smashed potatoes, and her kids just wanted cheese. But he wouldn't eat it, and now he's gone. So we don't have to do a lot of that. That was more than mildly infuriating. All right. Wayne you Karen, this is sign I live near. Text used to say, Dear Karen's not a subdivision, mind your business. Somebody got mad. Because it doesn't say that anymore. Is that Nick Cage? I can't tell. It looks like it's a neighbor, really. Second top comment is Chuckity Bite, and it says r/signs without a story. I want that story. Signs of the story sounds fun. How many? No. Maybe we'll add signs with a story. Any thoughts on that? Next we have AIO over Valentine's Day note. Um, just celebrated first Valentine's Day with my boyfriend. Remember that these are from February. I love flowers. I buy bouquets weekly for my house. I prefer white and pink flowers. I don't like red roses. I got this bouquet and this note from him. It was exciting. I feel like my boyfriend did everything opposite of what I wanted. Went out of way to do lots of handmade items, bought nice gifts for him. He also knows I love Valentine's Day. It's special to me. Sorry, I rolled my eyes. I let him know that it hurt me, and he responded, "That note was awesome. It's just a joke. I think if you care for someone, you make those things special." And here is his. I think he's probably over Valentine's Day with her. What if I told you that cleaning the dishes and washing the floors seduces you more than you whining about flowers and a romantic dinner on Valentine's Day? Just kidding, kinda. Cheers, LOL. Oh, so she was already complaining about the flowers and romantic dinner on Valentine's Day? Please. Those are nice flowers. I think OP. I think this is an OP problem. Yeah, you're overreacting. And of course, everybody's going to agree with her, even though she's overreacting. I mean, if she doesn't like it, she can. She can work up with him, but he obviously doesn't care about Valentine's Day. And there are people like that. I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I might give chocolates to my kids if I remember to buy them in time. Sometimes I don't. Next, we have server life, and it says how many times. Parents at restaurant are son's 37th birthday is today. A group of 6 Adderall addicted chain smokers who all have sex with each other and haven't slept in 24 hours stop rolling silverware and start clapping. I'm confused. Show of hands who downgraded to Adderall. Mr. Frosty says, "Wow, I wasn't having sex with any of the other 5." So Crab says that sounds like the best case scenario. I don't know. That's just mean to me. Next, we have confession, and it is entitled "Making Bad Tasting Food for the Thief at Work." Oh, good. Happy for that. So we have communal fridges in the break room, and for the most part, people don't touch anyone else's food. I love banana pudding, and I would on a weekly basis bring some in. I like sweet homemade, really good banana pudding. And every so often, someone would take it and leave me with a clean Tupperware dish. That's rude. So for 3 weeks straight, instead of banana pudding, I'd take whole jars of mayo and add stuff to it to make it seem like it's really banana pudding. One day I noticed that someone got got into it and left a note, point made. Suffice to say they never touched my pudding again. Good. Sullyville says lunchroom thieves should be fired in my opinion. I agree. If you can't trust them with something this small, you can't trust them with larger things either. Yep, exactly. It goes to their character. I will say when I worked at GM, people pretty much, as far as I did not hear any stories about people stealing food. I will say that. I'm talking 3 floors, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 refrigerators, at least 10 refrigerators. People left people's food alone there. Not so much at the small places, but at the big ones, they leave the food alone because they will get fired. uh, Judge Affectionate answers, my husband worked in security. If someone were there to steal food from the fridge, it was instant firing. Clear up front because you can't be trusted in the community fridge. You can't be trusted with other people's safety. So Loria says, you genuinely should be proud. I never in a million years would have thought of something like this. I can't even imagine the aroma. Second top rated comment is from Critical Step, and they say, I had a guy steal coffee from a tub I left in the break room, not just for one cup, but like half the tub. I was so pissed, but I didn't know who did it. So I went and got some cheap instant coffee and mixed it half and half with the gravy granules, put it back in the break room, and waited. It didn't take long for the thief to steal coffee again and got a surprise half gravy coffee drink in front of all the guys at work. That's cool. Opie says, that's awesome. That is awesome. And then Critical Step answers, to this day, I think it's the best revenge prank I've ever done. I had to be careful with the amount of gravy granules I put in so it would taste funny, but not affect the consistency of the drink. Yeah, that's a tricky. Loud says, right out of school, I was a junior man order picking at a beverage warehouse because I was the FNG. I got the latest lunch slot at 13:30. That's 11:30 or 1:30 at 1:30, and frequently found my lunch stolen. I even got a locking lunchbox, but it was broken into. Holy cow, people are really determined. I was telling a buddy about this over beers, and he gave me an idea. I made a sandwich like normal, but it also included 2 condoms. They weren't used. I took them fresh out of the package, but I unrolled them and scrunched them up a bit. The next day, I got called into the lunchroom and found one of the old timers sitting there. He was white as a ghost. On the table was my roast beef and Trojan sandwich with a big bite taken out of it and the reservoir tip of the condom hanging out. My super wanted to know why I sabotaged his lunch. After a bit of investigating, the truth came out, and my supervisor just laughed and said, well played. I don't know if the old timer was punished, but no one ever stole my lunch again. Over the time, I even got pretty good friends with him, but he never liked talking about that day. Obviously, it traumatized him. Good. Good. Clown and Muppet says, next time put mayo on the condom. The Run Knob says, extra condiments. Nice touch. I would have probably actually come up with that one. Fourth Degree Night says, in my old office, I had 2 refrigerators. Since there were a lot of people, and one of them was like the drink fridge, and the other was like the lunch and stuff we brought and kept at the office. I would stock up on frozen lunches, got like turkey pot pie, like that, in case I didn't have my lunch, so I could hit up my reserve. I would notice things missing all the time. Another employee said she noticed the same thing. We were about to make a complaint, but a few of us found out one of the new girls came from a very bad home life. She still lived at home with her dad, and even though she was in her early 20s, she was dealing with abusive issues at home. She was super skinny and would jump at any free food, like if somebody brought in donuts. We all made a deal to, instead of being mad, we would all pitch in and just keep it stocked. I think she felt like if she got caught, she would get fired. I would say, hey, I bought a bunch of these mac and cheese dinners, but I got tired of them. Grab them if you want them. And other coworkers started bringing in extra food from home, like, oh, hey, I made enchiladas last night. I brought you a plate to try. We did this until she had to quit because her dad kicked her out and she had to go up north to live with her aunt. Oh, that's a nice story. That's a good story. Bravo for you guys. Old Biscuit says, one day when she's older, she will realize what you did for her. In fact, that you did it discreetly will be a memory she will cherish. Well done. Anna Kararaman says, when I was really struggling financially, a couple I'm friends with suddenly decided they were eating too much takeout and liked my cooking, so they would ask me to cook for them from time to time, saying they would pay for the ingredients, but always paid way more than needed. I knew what they were doing at the time, and it stopped once I was in a more stable situation, but I thought it was so sweet of them. They knew I would never accept outright help or without doing anything in return. Axel says, I heard that adding super extra hot sauce is a good way to skip all those unnecessary steps about making something bad. Um, Move says, yeah, a couple of shakes of Dave's instantly hot sauce, which should deter most people because just one is plenty. Hot sauce is a good deterrent. Next, we have best of Redditor updates. My 23-year-old boyfriend, 23 male, of 1 year, is bad at everything, and it's making me lose respect for him. Is bad at everything? How could somebody be bad at everything? That makes no sense. It was originally posted. I don't want to say where it was originally posted. In relationships. Okay. Okay, so I'm going crazy in my head here because I don't know if I'm just the world's hugest bitch or what. Basically, my boyfriend, let's call him Steve, is not good at doing anything. Wait, that's not true. He's good at outdoorsy stuff and is apparently pretty good at his job in catering. Aside from that, for example, I feel like I can't do anything with him that involves any skill or is even slightly competitive because one, he's a sore loser, and B, he never wins. When I stayed with his family over Christmas, they had a Scrabble board, and because it was snowy and boring, of course, I tried to pass the time playing Scrabble with him, and I'm not even a good Scrabble player, and I still crushed him every game, and eventually, after a few, I just couldn't play 10 minutes after every game, making him feel better about himself. If you're gonna feel bad about yourself after playing the game like that over and over again, like I know I get mad at playing games sometimes because it seems like I always lose. I always lose. So I stopped playing, and people get mad at me for not for stopping playing. It's like, why should I play if I'm just gonna lose? I'm not mad about it. I'm just giving up because it's the thing. Because I don't want to wait. After giving up on Scrabble, we switched to playing Sorry. We had to stop that too because we couldn't handle the mental toll of continuously beating him at Sorry. How do you beat somebody at Sorry? It's like random. Another time we went to a board game night with some friends and he couldn't understand the rules for most of the board games. He doesn't sound like a very smart person. And afterwards vented to me about how stupid the games were and why there was no point in having rules so complicated no one could grasp them. He was the only one that couldn't grasp them. Maybe he's just not a game player. My husband doesn't kind of sits out games. We have another family member that sits out games because they just don't like doing it. It's okay. You can sit out and be bored. We don't care. Other times we just play casual stuff like air hockey or foosball, which I didn't even think it required any strategy other than spinning little plastic dudes. Well, it does. Very fast, and he'd still lose every time. No, you can get really good at like foosball and air hockey. There's tricks to it. It's him getting upset about it every time. That's the problem. I don't care about winning. I just want to have fun, and it feels impossible to have fun because playing anything with him feels like playing against a GD 5-year-old. Yeah. But wait, this thread isn't entitled, "My boyfriend is terrible at games." So here's some other stuff. His internet stopped working a while back, and he called me, and I told him to use his mobile data to download the troubleshooting manual for his router and see if he could fix it. He didn't manage, so I went to his place and later found he downloaded the manual for the wrong router. How do you do that? It wasn't even for the right brand. Like, how this guy. I ended up fixing his problem, and he ranted to me about how all these router manufacturers make their manuals so hard to use. Like there's some sort of deliberate conspiracy to keep everyone in perpetual confusion, unless they're a genius. I'm not a genius. I'm just capable of following simple written instructions. This guy sounds dumb. I can't even blame this on. No, I forgot the word for it. On oh shoot, it'll come to me. Also, he wants to go back to school to do a master's degree, but he needs to do some preregs, including a math unit where he's struggling a lot with the material. But as far as I can tell, it's all stuff he learned in high school. Does he have a brain tumor? This isn't even, what is it called? Something with incompetence. Where you incompetent on on purpose because you don't want to do it. I forgot what it's called. It'll come to me. He'll come to me. Lately, he's been posting on Facebook updates about how hard it is to learn logarithms. My school covered logarithms in grade 9, and even though I can't remember how to do them off the top of my head, I don't recall them being particularly hard at the time. And maybe aside from that, you're getting tired of being expected to be sympathetic, when increasingly I just want to yell. Well, maybe if you weren't such a dumbass, but if I even hint that maybe he should be able to deal with his emotions. For example, honey, I know you couldn't get the pizza dough shape you wanted, but it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, right? I get accused of being unsympathetic to his feelings. Well, maybe don't say things like that. Maybe he needs a little tough love. Weaponized incompetence. That's it. I told you I'd come up with it. You can't even blame weaponized incompetence 'cause it sounds like the guy's just dumb. well, about what about my feelings that I don't want to constantly rolling coverage of every tiny thing that bothers you? But he's also incredibly sweet, hardworking person who treats me well, and his boss and coworkers all say just work hard, but is actually really competent at his job. And he did pretty well in high school, and he's lived on his own since he was 16 and kept himself alive the whole time. And no one has ever said or hinted that, gee, your boyfriend is kind of a dumbass. So what? WTF? Is it me? Am I the crazy one? Am I a bitch? September 6th, 2020. Oh, sorry, 20. Oh, 15. 2 months later. I'll save you some scrolling. We broke up. Some more background. My ex graduated with a degree in biomedicine last year, but never actually looked for work in his field, as far as I know. How can he get a degree in biomedicine when he can't even download um the right manual for his router? The heck? Are you sure he doesn't have a brain tumor? I heard tell, and I'm not sure about all those details, but this person was the valedictorian of their high school. Very smart person. They went to college in last semester, but it turned out that they had a um, rapidly progressing brain issue. Well, not a tumor, but a brain problem. I don't think they ever moved out of their house. I'm not even sure they're still alive. This didn't strike me as a problem at first, since he's always taken care of himself just fine, and he's never seemed that enthusiastic about his degree anyway. I spent several weeks after high school. Oh, did he cheat? Maybe he cheated. I spent several years of high school working odd jobs while I figured out what to do with my life. Most of the way through nursing school now, so who am I to judge, right? But gradually, I just got more and more of a sinking feeling about things, mostly because he kept talking about how he wanted to get a PhD and become a professor. And I felt professorship was pretty optimistic goal for even the most brilliant of students. No, it's not. But now you get to tell. But how do you tell your boyfriend you think their dreams are wildly unrealistic? So he decided he was going back for his master's. Cool. After I posted the original thread, I realized that I had never spoken to him about his negativity while we were both calm. So I sat him down one day and told him that while I was always going to be there for him in times of real distress, I couldn't take all of his complaining anymore. About his coworkers, about housemates, um about my housemates, about losing at games, about the train system, about math, about arts majors. Apparently they all work at Starbucks. Okay. Somebody's got to work at Starbucks. The one time I pointed out the irony of this, he went real quiet and told me later I really hurt his feelings and not to strike such a low blow in the future. Then stop whining about everything. I guess I missed one hell of a red flag. I told him it was exhausting to constantly have to attend to one crisis or another, and that perhaps he could benefit from seeing a therapist. In addition to everything else he's got depression on and off. Not surprised. Someone so negative is going to have depression. And I figured it was a good chance to learn better coping skills. Well, that didn't go over at all. He immediately accused me of not caring about his feelings, and he should be able to say whatever he wanted to me and a psychologist, and just want to give happy pills to make you like think everyone else. When I told him psychologists aren't licensed to prescribe medication, he went silent for a while and said, "It doesn't matter. They still want to convince you it's fine to be a loser and everything's okay with you." No, that's not what they do. I asked him if he thought he was a loser, and he said he doesn't think he's a loser. He just thinks it's important to stay aware of your flaws and punish yourself when you mess up, which is why he runs so much. What? At this point, at the end of the conversation, because he didn't know what to say. The other thing had been bothering me progressively is that is is that he's currently taking units so he can start his master's next semester. But it struck me prereqs, considering he already has a degree in biomedicine. I'm pretty sure he graduated. He has a photo of himself in his gown on Facebook. But every time I tried to ask, he'd hand wave it away like he was hiding something. All of the problems in our relationship were this was the only one that made me feel like I might be nuts. Because for all I know, there was a perfectly simple explanation, but why the evasiveness? Anyway, reading back everything I wrote feels super weird because there's a lot of crazy crap. And it's like, well, sure, that happened, but it wasn't like that. But maybe it was. After my failed attempt at talking to him, I felt like a giant dumbass, not realizing the relationship was doomed from the start. But I was dreading actually breaking up with him until the boat ride. So in my town, there's a few places where you can hire a little sailboat for an hour and sail around on the water in the summer. Fun couples activity, right? Before the horrible talk, we'd made plans to do this, and he didn't even know I was going to break up with him. And I was still clinging to the hope of fixing our relationship. So we went sailing. All went well for about 10 minutes until we had to turn the boat. And of course, turning a sailboat can be tricky if you've never done it before. As we were trying and failing to turn the boat, I can see him getting more and more agitated, and I try to lighten the mood by joking about our struggles. And he replies with something like, "Oh, sure, it's fine to be crappy at things. Who needs standards?" And I should have known not to expect to be good at sailing. Well, yeah, because you're not good at anything, apparently. I tell him there's no reason he needs to be good at something, just trying to enjoy the activity. Something that I'm sick of saying, and he's evidently sick of hearing because it sets him off on one of his rants about how I can't do anything right and people who don't care how well they are do how well they do are dumbasses. Everyone is a dumbass. Everyone but him, apparently. I just want him to be happy with being a dumbass, and the boat is stupid, but sailboats are stupid, our town is unreasonably windy, etc. After that, he's too upset to talk and snaps at me every time I tried I asked him to hold a rope or whatever, all because he had trouble turning a winging higher boat. So I turned to him and yelled, "You're dumped." Jumped in the water and swam back to shore. Oh my God. Just kidding. I only did that in my imagination. I broke up with him a couple days later. Oh, that would have been funny. Honey Dewslap says, "Oof, I feel this in my soul. Not a partner, but there's a lady in my art club with me who's literally like this, Jude, just constantly ranting about how difficult it is to do art and why are we doing this art? It's an art club. Why are you there?" Like if I would join an art club, I would be really bad about it, but I wouldn't. I would be laughing at myself because I would be bad about it, not whining about why they were doing it and how difficult it is. I might complain about how difficult it is, but it'd be because it was difficult for me. No, she did she did it wrong and has to do it all over again. On top of staying glued to me, asking me for constant help because she feels helpless. Like I'm like, chill, it's art, you're learning, it's not a big deal if you make a mistake. But she just will not accept that as an answer and just energy vampires the entire club. I can't imagine being in a relationship with that JFC. Gringle Doom says art club sounds optional. Does she know that? Was she hexed by a witch, and if she ever starts going to art club, she dies? Honeydew slaps answers. That's literally what all of us in the club are saying. No one's forcing her, and she's got to suck the freaking joy out of the room with her negativity. My God. Visual Fly says, I used to do Renaissance fairs, and my best friend was setting the encampment up one morning and did something and get groused. This looks like crap, but that's okay because crap is period historical too. And you know that has stuck with me for decades. I lean into it now. Most art is crap, and that's part of what makes it so great. I may never create a masterpiece, but I will contribute a thread in the tapestry of human expression, just one That was probably plucked from my butt, but that's okay. It's a good attitude. You can have a good attitude about being bad at things. Big ol' nerd. I don't care about winning. I just want to have fun. Blah blah blah. This essentially sets up the whole story. When the relationship becomes this miserable, there's nothing left. And then he quotes, "I'll save you some scrolling. We broke up," and he says, "I like this." Azure says, "I think the OOP is missing a point of the title." There are many people out there who suck at a whole lot of things, but can bring a lot of joy and emotional support to someone's life. And there are many self-sufficient, wear the pants people, both men and women, who can work with that. But this guy says sounds miserable to be around. Sucking at things and being self-aware and playing into your strengths can work. Sucking and burying your head in the sand and making it everyone else's problem because you're a child is the issue. Exactly. All right. Next we have a very lovely, made me smile. Um, Hummingbirds are widely viewed as spiritual messengers from deceased loved ones, symbolizing their spirits are nearby, happy, and at peace. And this is entitled "A Very Special Hummingbird Visit." Oh,
Oh my god. Hello?
oh, that's cute. That's so cute. All right, that's all I got for today. I'm gonna go check the weather and see if I should leave now or later. Since I don't have to make dinner for anybody except myself, I'm probably fine. I hope your day's going better than mine. I hope mine improves. I hope yours improves if it's not going better than mine. Um, I love you all. Take care. Love you. Bye. Where is it? Bye. Bye, my Biddy.